This video is made for adult collectors because there's Five Guys in here. Five Guys burger. I'm allergic to Five Guys burger. So I miss when value packs existed. Not like, oh, just random 2 or 3 packs, but ones that actually had value to them. Ones where I'm saving more than $5 on the entire thing rather than getting them individually. Now we have that again with the Gen Selects 5-pack. This set retails here in Canada for $160.99. And a regular Canadian Deluxe is around about $37.99 usually. So multiplying that by 5, you get $189.95. This is all before tax, by the way. That's just about almost 30 bucks in savings. That's almost a full deluxe in savings on this pack. I love that. That to me is an amazing value for this set. You get 5 pretty good deluxes. Anyways, enough gushing about that. Is the set actually worth getting? Well, you get Trailbreaker, Wheeljack, Jazz, Sunstreaker, and that Earth Mode Hound everyone's been waiting for. Why did Hound take so long? Well, that thing we saw, we weren't supposed to see, that image. And that was just for retailers, so Hasbro could go, hey, we have this thing coming out if you want to buy it as an exclusive. And that's why it took so long, and Hatchet is slated for like next year or something. Those were all like renders. The physical product didn't even exist yet. These 5 are great, but let's start with Wheeljack. Wheeljack needs more paint. I get its accuracy, but he looks a bit bland. However, the gray in the robot mode does make it feel a lot less bland over the car mode. And they stick him with one of 2 of Legacy Elita's guns, which is nice. They also replaced the clear plastic on all of these guys, so unlike my old one where it cracked out of the box, this one has solid plastic for everything, so it feels nice and, well, solid. And that's pretty much all I have to say about the robot mode, because while this is good, it's still my least favorite of the pack. And I'm pretty sure I've talked about this mold already in the past. 86 Jazz used to yellow and crack so much. Now though, it's made of the new plastic mix, so yellowing should be gone, and the clear plastic is all gone, and that's wonderful now. I like this a lot. I like the way it looks, I like the way it feels, I like the way how his knees on mine are actually staying in place, and also the light blue, Allspark blue style windshield does look really nice on this guy, coupled with the light blue paint that they used. Trailbreaker is nice. I like this a lot. I have 2 versions of this currently, and I had Hoist, and all of them had loose issues of some kind, and the clear bits were scary on Hoist because Earthrise clear plastic. This, though, doesn't feel flimsy in the slightest. I also really like the charcoal black they're going for here. It fits a lot better to me than that glossy black. The candy red also, like, it just pops sprinkled throughout. I love the way they did the colors on this. It's brighter than it used to be, and I like how much brighter it is. Hound, though, I love the Earth Mode Hound. Detritus was one of my favorite figures of the wave he was in, and this Hound just sort of carries that over, but in green, which is my favorite color. The green they used is really nice and soft. His back is a bit bland and hollow because the seats are there, but the rest of it looks great. The lines are clean. The yellow paint is nice. I just wish the legs had a bit more to them. Like, they're very just plain blocks with no detail on them. Sunstreaker for me is the biggest improvement of the set. First, the color mismatch is gone. The clear issues are gone, and the old ones I had from the 2-pack that had loads of loose joints and tabbing issues, this one has gotten rid of all of those issues. This is one of the most solid figures I've actually gotten this year. The pack is mostly solid, but he just feels the best. He looks the best. I have not been able to put him down in relation to the rest of the 5-pack toys. Like, he's the one I mess with the most. And the whole pack just feels amazing for the figures they're based on. Like, they aren't outstanding, but comparing them to their original molds, they feel a lot better. And omitting the clear plastic, I kind of dig the bright Allspark blue windows. I know some people don't like it though. They think it's really like bright, and that's completely fine. It's a personal preference thing, and personally I like it. So I'm not going to run you through all of their articulations because they're all older figures that we've all at least owned one of, and you know, they all share pretty much the same thing. So I'm just going to basically cover this idiot and this idiot. This idiot, and these 2 can go away. They all have ball joints at the head, whoops, so they can look around and all that. They all have rotatable shoulders. Sunstreakers go out about that far, and then the rotation becomes a bit weird because of how it's positioned, but you can use that like double jointed shoulder piece to move it around. 90-degree elbow bend, bicep rotation, waist rotation.
Hips go forward, back, in and out, thigh rotation, knee bend, ankle pivot, and toe bend a little bit. So Sunstreaker is pretty posable. Doesn't have a wrist swivel though. Hound does. Hound has pretty much all of the same articulation as Sunstreaker except a toe joint and a wrist joint, which is nice to see. Also the cannon can it's on a shallow peg so it can tilt up and down and rotate and stuff. And then this can come off if you want to do that. But yeah, that's everything else though is pretty much the same. The knees can bend a little bit more if you will move them out this way, because these wheels will bump into his crotch and kind of stop it at 90 degrees. But it is what it is. But Trailbreaker does something I kind of don't like, and it's these hips. They move forward and back. Well, they only go back that far, but they move forward perfectly fine. As soon as you rotate the waist, they only go forward that far, because the sculpt clashes with the front winch bumper part section of the car. So when you're moving the legs, you have to move the legs first and then rotate the waist. But then the leg won't go down past this point. It's a bit weird. I'm not a fan of it. I kind of wish they'd just chop those top parts off so you could make it a little bit nicer to pose. But it is what it is. He also has double jointed knees due to his transformation. So yeah, there's that. Also, one thing I want to mention about Jazz is, you know how I wrote that bit and I said, oh, his knees stay pegged in. Yeah, while I was filming that, they sort of stopped doing that. So the pegs, this one works. Oh, there we go. But yeah, this one works. This one, not so much. Oh, bend the knee. Oh, damn it. Not focusing either. But it doesn't work. That is pain.
So yeah, I'm not boring you with all the articulation because you'll have seen it before a million times, and I'm not going to bore you with all of their transformations because you've seen them before a million times. But let's make them all cars and trucks and a Jeep and a pizza.
So, what am I going to show for the transformations? I don't want to show you all of them because then that makes the video way too long, and you pretty much know how all of these work. So, I'm probably going to do the ones that still have a couple of issues with them, and that's... I think it's just these two. So we'll get into these two. You obviously already... No, I'm not going to bore you with that. So Jazz, the one big issue I have with this Jazz figure is in the legs. And I never had this issue on my Jackpot or my Knockout. But for some reason, the legs, when you line everything up for alt mode, makes it really difficult to peg the back section in. Let me show you. First of all, that's not clear. So you don't have to worry about all this just ripping itself to pieces. I've seen some horrible pictures of people just shattered back here. Don't have to worry about that, which is nice. Let me get all this unpegged. Now, one thing I know someone's going to point out is they're going to look at these and go, oh, that looks yellowed because it's a different color than this. That's Palm. That's ABS. They're going to look slightly different. It's a lot of white toys that look like that because that's just science, unfortunately. But there we go, we just get everything situated in here, and this is where the problems start. So, when you go to compress the legs, you compress the legs just as you would normally, and then you go to put the windshield down. And for some reason, it's always off kilter back here, regardless of what I do, it's always off. And you gotta really, really squeeze it into place, and then get these, oh, that arm flipped around, and then get the doors pegged in properly. And when you do that, something's always here we go, this is a miss and it just won't go in, and then you gotta feed it over that, and now it's popping out again. I think the windshield's now pushed in. I think there's some mold degradation on this guy. I think there's a little, oh god, there we go, I did it, I fit it. But it takes a bit of effort to fit everything into the Porsche mode, which is Sunstreaker, his transformation is actually really solid. Bring the windshield down, rotate this. This is so satisfying to do because of how this fits into here. You just floop like that. Love how they're trying to get the spoiler in without adding a spoiler piece, but this is where the big problem comes in. Number one, this panel for some reason does not stay fully down. Number two, you're supposed to rotate this around. However, if we zoom in right there, you see that? You see that? Yeah. That's paint chipping from this thing. So, and it's not silver rub off because the silver's not actually missing on the bottom of this. It's just the paint chipping. So what I recommend doing is pulling this up just a little bit and then rotating it and then pushing it down. That way you don't chip the paint. Because this is annoying me. Because I really love this toy. That's the one problem I have with it, is that the fact that the paint chips.
Now these I like, minus Wheeljack. Like, I get that it's supposed to be cartoon accurate, and props to that, they nailed it. But it's very plain. Might be worth getting that Toy Hack set that they just put out, actually. I might honestly buy it for the whole set. But they do fit very well together. The Allspark Blue really helps tie them in as a set of toys coming from the same box. The weapon storage on Wheeljack and Sunstreaker is a bit because they weren't designed to come with weapons. Though I do like how Sunstreaker has silver paint on the back to mimic a spoiler. I don't know where that came from, excuse me. Though an actual one would have been a nice inclusion, but I also don't know where they would have got the parts from, so like, I get it. But it would have been nice to have a spoiler on this thing. I like the softer colors over the harsher glossy decos on the original toys, and the paint matching is awesome. Save for Wheeljack and his hands, they stand out way too much. There isn't much else to say about these that hasn't already been said by multiple other people, myself included, because there's hardly any other changes from their original molds. But at the end of the day, is this a good value? That's not how you say at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, there we go, is this a good value? Yeah, I'd say so. I like it, and being almost $30 less than buying them individually is great. So I'd say it's a good deal. That, and I bought mine at GameStop Canada, not sponsored. I get 10% off because I have an Edge Platinum membership, but it gives you 10% off. And so I saved even more on this pack. I think I got it for 150 something. So like, if you can do that, it is definitely worth it, I think. But that's my look at the Legacy Autobots United or whatever 5-pack. Not to be confused with the Age of Extinction Autobots United 5-pack. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.